Have you ever felt the weight of expectations, the invisible pressure to perfectly embody a role? The feeling that you must always be strong, always be wise, always be in control? It's a universal human experience, this struggle to live up to the image we project or the image others project onto us. Today we delve into a story about such a moment, a pivotal instant in the life of a man named Kasan. Kasan was a respected Zen monk and teacher. He dedicated his life to the pursuit of enlightenment and the guidance of others on their own paths. Kasan was known throughout the region for his profound wisdom, his unwavering calm, and the serene presence he exuded. People sought him out for guidance and solace. He guided many on their spiritual journeys, helping them navigate the complexities of life and find peace within themselves. He was a pillar of strength and a beacon of hope for his community. One day, he was asked to officiate a funeral, a somber but important duty within his monastic responsibilities. It was a familiar duty, one he had performed countless times before with grace and composure. He knew the rituals intimately, the chants, the movements, the sacred texts. He understood the expectations of the grieving families, the need for comfort, for closure, for a sense of peace in the face of loss. He was well versed in the solemnity required, the gravity of the occasion, the respect due to the departed. But as he stood before the grieving crowd ready to perform the ancient rites, something unexpected happened, something that shook him to his core. Something unexpected happened, a crack in the facade, a ripple in the calm surface of his being, a subtle shift, a tremor within his spirit, a flicker of doubt in the face of unwavering faith. This moment wasn't just about the ceremony, the words, or the traditions. It wasn't about the people watching, the expectations they held, or the image he was supposed to project. It was about Kasan himself, stripped bare of his title, his role, his perceived perfection. The identity he had so carefully built as a Zen master, the unwavering figure of wisdom and calm, was about to be tested in the crucible of his own humanity. The air was heavy with unspoken expectations, all eyes were fixed on him, waiting for the familiar words of comfort and guidance. He was expected to be unshakable, a rock of stability in a sea of grief, a beacon of hope in the darkness of loss. Yet in that moment, a very human experience surfaced, a vulnerability that threatened to shatter the image he had so carefully cultivated. It would challenge everything he thought he knew about mastery, about enlightenment, about the very nature of being human. This seemingly simple event, this unexpected tremor became a powerful teaching not just for Kasan, but for all who would hear his story. One that still resonates today, reminding us that even the most enlightened among us are still human, still vulnerable, and still capable of profound growth. As Kasan prepared to speak, a hush fell over the room. All eyes were on him, the Zen master, ready to impart wisdom. He had spent years in quiet contemplation, seemingly untouched by the anxieties of the world. But then, he noticed his right hand trembling, a subtle but undeniable tremor that betrayed an inner turmoil. It was a human moment, unexpected and raw. His palms were sweating, a sheen of moisture reflecting the light. It was a stark contrast to the image of serene detachment he usually projected. Imagine, a Zen master, a figure we often associate with unwavering calm, symbol of composure, feeling nervous, experiencing the very human sensation of anxiety. Why would this happen to someone so advanced on their spiritual path? What could possibly shake the equilibrium of a Zen master? The sweaty palms were more than a physical reaction, they weren't just a random physiological response. They revealed an attachment, a clinging to his role as the perfect master, the infallible guru. His ego whispered fears, planting seeds of doubt in his mind, of not meeting expectations, of failing to live up to the image he and others had created. How often do we feel that pressure to be perfect, to maintain a flawless facade? We build images of ourselves, crafting idealized versions in our minds, and try to live up to them, relentlessly pursuing an often unattainable standard. Kasan's sweaty palms exposed the tension, the underlying conflict between his true self, with all its vulnerabilities, and the role he played for the world. This wasn't failure. It wasn't a setback or a sign of weakness. It was awakening, a profound moment of self-discovery. The sweat was a mirror reflecting back at him, reflecting an unexamined part of his consciousness, a hidden corner of his inner landscape. It showed his journey wasn't over. The path to enlightenment is a continuous process. There was still something to release, some deeply ingrained attachment to let go of, something to understand, a new layer of self-awareness to peel back. This subtle tremor was the key, the clue, to greater liberation, to a deeper understanding of himself and the nature of reality. For Kasan, and for us, as we navigate our own paths toward authenticity and inner peace. We all wear masks: parent, leader, friend, seeker. These roles give us identity, but sometimes they become too tight. Kasan, as Zen master, felt this pressure. When we tie our identity to a role, anxiety creeps in. Roles are about performance, about meeting standards. What if we don't live up to the image? Kasan's sweaty palms were a sign of this fear. We fear our true selves don't match the polished image. We fear being exposed, not good enough. The ego loves roles, but this identification causes suffering. It separates us from our authentic selves and creates fear. Kasan's experience shows even spiritual roles can become ego traps. Seeing this is the first step to freedom. It's about recognizing the anxiety beneath the mask and daring to let it go. Kasan found himself at a crossroads, a moment of truth that would define his approach to teaching and to life. He knew he couldn't continue down the path of pretense. What did Kasan do next? He chose radical honesty, a path less traveled but one that promised deeper connection and authenticity. It was a decision that required courage, a willingness to step outside the comfort zone of perceived perfection. Instead of hiding his nervousness, the butterflies fluttering in his stomach, the slight tremor in his voice, he decided to confront it head-on. He turned to his students, those eager faces looking up to him, and confessed. He laid bare his vulnerabilities, his anxieties, his imperfections. He admitted his sweaty palms, the physical manifestation of his unease, acknowledging that even he, their teacher, experienced moments of doubt and insecurity. He shared his human moment, a raw and unfiltered glimpse into the reality of being imperfect, of being human. Imagine the courage it took to reveal imperfection, to dismantle the carefully constructed facade of the all-knowing master, to those who looked up to him with admiration and expectation. This was not weakness. It wasn't a sign of failure or inadequacy. It was strength, a testament to his inner resilience and his commitment to authenticity. His confession shattered the illusion of the flawless master, the unattainable ideal that often separates teachers from their students. It showed true mastery isn't about being perfect, about achieving some mythical state of flawlessness, but about being whole, about embracing all aspects of ourselves, the strengths and the weaknesses, the triumphs and the struggles. Kasan's honesty became a powerful teaching, a lesson that resonated far beyond the confines of the classroom. More than any words, any lecture, any carefully crafted lesson plan, his vulnerability connected him to his students on a deeply human level, forging a bond of trust and understanding. They saw their teacher also faced inner challenges, that he too grappled with self-doubt and uncertainty. This didn't diminish his wisdom, it didn't lessen his authority or undermine his expertise. It amplified it, making his teachings more relatable, more accessible, and ultimately, more impactful. The path isn't about eliminating our humanity, about striving for some unattainable state of perfection, but integrating it with awareness, about accepting ourselves fully, flaws and all, and using that self-awareness to guide our actions and interactions. Kasan's courage to be real, to be authentic, to be vulnerable, is a lesson for us all, a reminder that true strength lies not in perfection but in embracing our humanity. Dare to be seen, to step out of the shadows and into the light, imperfections and all. Embrace your imperfections, for they are what make you unique, what make you human. Teach by being, not just by words. Let your actions speak louder than your pronouncements. That's true mastery, the kind that inspires, that connects, that transforms. Kasan's realization went deeper. By acknowledging his sweaty palms, he saw the sameness of being. Beneath master and student, there is shared essence. In that moment, their human experience was the same. We often get caught up in labels: teacher, student, parent, child. These create separation and hierarchy. Kasan's experience reminds us to look deeper beyond roles. There we find our common ground, our shared humanity. We all feel joy, sadness, fear, hope. This understanding fosters compassion. When you see yourself in others, judgment dissolves. Kasan's self-awareness deepened his empathy for others. The journey of awakening is universal. It's for everyone who breathes and feels. Seeing the sameness changes everything. Kasan's story didn't end with his confession. That moment was a new beginning. He realized he still had more to learn about non-attachment. His sweaty palms showed a lingering identification with his role. With humility, Kasan stepped down as teacher. He became a student again, seeking deeper understanding. Imagine, a respected master giving up status and comfort to learn. For 8 years he dedicated himself to this new path. It wasn't regression, but evolution. True humility is thinking of yourself less, not less of yourself. Kasan put growth above reputation. He chose genuine transformation. His journey teaches us, learning never stops. Growth is continuous, no matter our achievements. Stay open, stay curious. Humility paves the way for awakening. After 8 years, Kasan returned transformed. He was no longer bound by the ego or his role. He embodied non-attachment and presence. What can we learn from Kasan's journey? First, embrace humility. It's the ground for growth. Be willing to see your blind spots and learn anew. Second, commit to lifelong learning and unlearning. The journey of self-discovery never ends. Don't let roles limit your growth. Stay curious, keep growing. Finally, see beyond social identities. Find the shared humanity in everyone. When we look past labels, we find connection and compassion. Ask yourself, where are my sweaty palms? What roles am I clinging to? Like Kasan, find the courage to be real, to learn, and to connect deeply.